So guys, welcome to another trading week. We're going to be analyzing the charts again for this week. Last week, we this was the analysis we gave you, and as you can see, it played out. Now, guys, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and share. We're always usually spot on with our analysis. All right, and you can join our free Telegram. It's going to be right there somewhere. All right, guys. So back to it. Now, last week we told you guys the levels you could be looking for sales and the levels with which you could be looking for buy. So, in fact, last week we took a couple of trades. Because of the nature of the way the chart was, I got some sales at different points in time. So I got sales on, I think, on Monday and Tuesday. In fact, this massive drop, we got it. We posted it on our Telegram also, as well, but I've not been posting so much on our YouTube channel, right? Because I've been quite busy. Now, we also got some sales right here. We also got some sales right here on Thursday, right? All this drop. This first drop was about how many pips in profit? This was a massive one. Got it right at the tip somewhere. Okay, not really at the tip, somewhere around here, I think. Yeah. All right, we got this drop. This was about, you know, 2000 something pips, right? And we also got this drop right here. Okay, and then we also got the buys. We got those buys here on Thursday evening, close of the day, and also this buy here on Friday. We got in on this buys right here, but somehow at NFP we got taken out of break even, so we got in again. So that's it. So we've been taking a couple of trades. We took like number. I think this week was the week that I took the most trades, about 3-4 trades in a week, or 4-5, and they were practically all good trades, right? I posted all this on our Telegram. So I told you guys that we were going to be looking for sales from around 400 level, and as you can see, price came into that 500-400 level. I told you guys price will most likely create a gap and push up. As you can see, it did that here, pushed up here, and I told you guys we should be looking for sales from here. That was a good point. And then what happened? Price just tanked massively on Tuesday, and then I said when price tank, we'll be looking for it to get into this 50% level of the weekly fib, or even go lower and then down to this 5,000, and from 5,000 we'll be getting in on our trades. Now I was mainly getting at the very TP at 5,000, but guess what? My network just misbehaved. That's one of the problems we have. I have living in the country I'm in right now. Currently, it's just crazy. So my network got bad. I couldn't enter from there, so I had to enter from somewhere around here. I think higher, from somewhere around this point. And when I got in for the trade, I held it right up to this point, but then I had to come out because I suspected the price would come down lower. If I had entered it from this tip, I probably would still be holding that trade, but I had to come out because I expected the price would come down lower, and as you can see, it did. I got the sales too as well, but I'm currently not in on any buys from 5,000, so that really pissed me off. But anyway, it's trading, so that's part of it. So now, what do we expect in this new week? That's what we're here for. What are we going to expect in this new week? Now, let me delete all these drawings. So we get right into it, and I need to try and be fast to make this really short. So guys, looking at the current looking at the current state of the charts, gold has been somewhat moving sideways for some days, from, let's say, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, just moved sideways, right? So what are we going to do? Let's start from the monthly, like we always do. Let's start from the monthly. So let's go to the monthly. Looking at the monthly charts, guys, we can see that gold is still very much bullish, even though we had a significant push downwards, or retracement downwards in the month of March, right? And gold came down to the 5,000 level to test it and to want to start pushing up. And I told you guys this last month. I told you if gold closes bullish above the 5,000 level, we'll most likely see price coming back down to 5,000. Sorry, to test it again before we can continue going upwards, and that looks like what is happening now. Initially I was thinking the price will most likely come down lower to this 50 fib here, which is 4839, but I know that might be difficult. I even said that might not happen, right? It might just reject from 5,000, but if it had come down here, it's not bad. That would have been a good one too as well. So let's go to the weekly. Let's see what the weekly is looking like. So looking at the weekly, it's still looking very much bullish, right? But you see, gold closed on the weekly with a bearish engulfer, right? But this is not a very strong bearish engulfer. So Is there possibility for gold to come back down into this 50 fib level? It's possible. Could it come back down to the 5,000 level? It's possible. And then from these 2 points, we could start looking for a buy upwards. So these two levels are actually possible, the 5,000 level and this level right here, which is 4845 level, right? So price could actually come back down into those places and push up. But would that most likely happen? I'm not certain that will happen. I'm very skeptical. I don't think that might happen, right? So what I think might happen is as the new week starts, we might just see a push up. Gold will just start pushing up, right? Maybe create some gap and just start pushing up, and then from after that gap it creates, it might just come back down into that gap, test that gap, and then continues push upwards. Gold likes doing that a lot, just like what happened right here. You can see what happened here, right? Let me put this arrow so you see where I'm pointing at. You see what happened here? Gold did that just right here. You see what happened here? Oh no, no, there's not just this one here. Gold did that here. Apart from this other one, gold actually dropped lower, right? So if you go check some other this thing, you see gold is used to doing something of that nature, right? Especially seeing that gold, this 5,000 level was a significant point that gold seemed to be bouncing from. So we might see a continuation upwards to the all-time high, to around 5589 level, right? At least the first target would be to this level 5372 level, then from there probably 5589 level. If you manage to break that, then we know we're going up to 6,000. So that's what I'm seeing, right? Let's go to the daily. Now looking at the daily, we can still see that gold is still very much bullish. So we still expect bullishness. Now this is where it is now beginning to look clear. Now if gold, like we said, if gold comes down to the 5,000 level, that's not a bad thing. But what I'm seeing here, there's this level right here, so gold might actually come into that level, test it, and then from there we might start seeing push-ups from this level right here. So we should be looking at this point as a key level. So there's a tendency for gold to come into this level, and from there we start seeing rejections upwards. So that's a level to take note of. What level is that? 5146 level or 45 level, right? 5145 level. So it's a very important level to take note of. So let's go down to the 4-hour. Now if you look here, you see that there's a fair value gap on this daily distance. So there's a tendency for price to come into this zone and then we start seeing rejections downwards. So that might be the rejection downwards after creating a gap, right? So now something else also could have happened. Without gold just coming down, gold could just break higher, right? After breaking higher, create a gap, come back down into that gap that it created, and then continue upwards. So that's something else that could happen, right? So we could see something like this: get into that fair value gap after creating a gap, come back down lower, and then continue upwards. So let's go to the daily. Let's see what things are looking like there. On the 4-hour. Let's go to the 4-hour. So now looking at the 4-hour, you can see things now clearly. You can see things clearly now. Okay, so like I said, let me adjust this properly. So like I said, we could see price coming to this level, or we could just see a break above, right above this level right here. So this is a level to take note of. It's a key level to take note of, right? So we could see price break above this level. Once price breaks above this level, right, price might most likely come back down. You see it lines up properly, come back down into this gap that it created, and then continue to push upwards. Or price could just come down first lower to test this level, and then from there we could start seeing push-ups, buys to continue the bullish momentum. Right now, as you can see here, you can also see that there is some sort of a inverse heads and shoulders right here, right? And you can see that there's a 4-hour engulfing candle right here, which is a good thing. Now initially there were multiple engulfing candles here, bearish engulfing candles, this one and this one right here, right? So that was what helped pushed the price lower. Right now we have a bullish engulfing candle right here. So if you are not in on the buys from down here, you could expect price to probably come down into this level and then push up, or like I said, break higher, or better still, if gold manages to come lower, because like I said, I'm not really too that's possible, but I'm not certain that will happen. But if that happens, then we might see price coming down into this level and from here pushing up. So these are some of the scenarios I'm going to be looking out for. And if you look here, you see that this makes sense, right? This is a key support trend line, right? So if price comes into this level, into this 4-hour level, we could start seeing buys from here. So if you're able to get in on the trade from there, that wouldn't be a bad one. You could get in from there and your stops should just be right below this thing, and then you ride it upwards. So we just need to watch and see what happens. So these are the 3 levels I'm just going to be keeping an eye on, keep my eye on. All right, so let's just see how everything goes this week. hope it goes well, and I hope you do have a wonderful trading week. So that's it, guys. Peace out, guys. Have a wonderful trading week, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Bye.